Everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Chouliatos and brought to you by this enormous book, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2, over 700 pages, chock full of training, nutrition, supplement, and PED info, available on Amazon.com. While you're on Amazon.com, go ahead and get Real Bodybuilding by Ron Harris. And of course, pick up MD somewhere. Now, all the way from Athens, Greece, the good Dr. George Chouliatos. How are you, Doc?
Hi, Ron. So last weekend, actually on Saturday, it was the first time I entered the concert of Guns N' Roses. I mean, it was the second time they visited Greece. I think it was 10 years ago, perhaps the first time. So I paid $800 to get two tickets for my fiance and myself. And imagine, I was not having the best spot. The VIPs were next to me, about 50 yards to the right. But imagine, I mean, how much people pay in order to see Axel and Slash and Duffy. And I mean, everybody's complaining about the voice. We have to be realistic. They are 60 years old. They're doing a world tour, and Great Athens was number 10 visit. Okay, so they gave this concert 10 times before, within a heat wave of 105 Fahrenheit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, listen, if you want to listen quality voice, then put up the CDs, okay? Now, the concert is about having fun, entertainment.
Yep.
And I mean, unless you're not in your 30s, in your prime, you're not going to have the same quality. But I wanted to see those legends alive that I was listening in my youth when I was a medical student, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know how long ago? Yeah.
Hmm?
You know what year I saw Guns N' Roses? 1991 in Los Angeles. That's how long ago I saw it. Oof.
Yeah, it was the Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 albums.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So they no, the only song they didn't sing was the Don't Cry.
Wow.
But all the other songs like Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, November Rain, Knocking on Heaven's Door, You Could Be Mine.
Yeah.
Okay, this was epic. You Could Be Mine remind me of T2, and actually it was the arm of the Terminator. No,
yeah.
yeah, and I mean, he looks pretty good, Axel, man. You know, in face. I mean, I just shared on you on Instagram an American who had a dinner with Axel, and he looks really good for his 60s.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was over there.
Who's Joe Rogan, by the way?
Yeah, Joe Rogan was just on vacation. He was on vacation, and he just happened to see Axel at a restaurant that he was
So
at.
Joe Rogan is a celebrity in the States?
Oh, he's huge. He's got the #1 podcast in the world. The Joe
really?
Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah. You know, he did UFC commentary.
Actually, recall, you shared this to me, and there's a small video from the stage, and also there were huge ventilators. You're gonna have air conditioning, but it was torturing, man. Wearing jeans and boots and
105 degrees.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Ooh, did you have a hat? I mean, was it? Geez.
No, it was nice, but it was unbearable. It was unbearable.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. Yeah, and I said, and Joe Rogan, you sent me the post, said they played for 3 hours. Is that right?
Exactly. Yes, from almost 8:30, almost midnight.
I mean, these guys they're not young. They're all about 60. They have to be.
Yeah, like 60.
Wow.
Slash.
Yeah, you know what? I saw Slash was here in Boston last year doing just playing as Slash. And for 2 hours, he didn't play one Guns N' Roses song. I was like, come on, give me one. Nothing. I was like,
and I was wondering if they are, I mean, they're broken apart, you know, but they reunited perhaps to do this tour again, because we haven't heard of them for many years.
They're a legend. Let me ask you, what's your favorite song, GNR song?
You Could Be Mine.
Okay. Mr. Brownstone.
Of course, my favorite ballad, apart from Hotel California, is November Rain. And especially the part that Slash plays the solo, and the second part of the video clip.
Yeah, he's amazing. I could listen to that guy play all night. But it's funny, my son.
Even Michael Jackson paid Slash for some of his
Black and White. The song Black and White. That was Slash. Yeah.
Not only, but also Give It to Me, which is pure guitar rock song. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got a chance to see them, because you never know if they're ever going to come around again.
And I purchased the same T-shirt that you're wearing, black with the stamp. Yeah.
The Guns N' Roses. Yeah, man. I love GNR. Just that Appetite for Destruction album. I probably heard that whole album beginning to end 500
Appetite for
times.
distractions, they will switch out of mind, Paradise City, and they welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, that was welcome. It starts with Welcome to the Jungle, and it just gets better and better. Every song is awesome on that
I
album.
think this is for hardcore training and perhaps pose down. Huh?
Yeah. Do you know how many people used to pose to Welcome to the Jungle? Sometimes I'd be at a contest and somebody would pose to Welcome to the Jungle, and then someone else would come out and they would pose to Welcome to the Jungle. Like, we just heard it. But like 5, 6 guys would use that song in one contest back in the old days. It was such a good song. You know.
And they're really fit, eh? No, no bellies. They were not ripped, of course, but they were lean for the 60s.
Well,
so they go to the gym, they visit the gym and they train, and they should eat healthy apart from the booze, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to see that Axl Rose, because he was overweight for a while. He was not looking healthy years ago. He was getting big and face was all bloated. It didn't look like he was probably not going to be around much longer, but he looks much, much healthier now. So that's good to see. Because he's an icon. He's one of the greatest rock singers of our generation. So, all right. Well, enough Guns N' Roses. It's time to get to the readers' questions. Let's go. This is a good one. I wanted to lead with this. What is the best way to get dry for a show without diuretics? Should you not drink any water and get dehydrated? Or should you drink gallons of water and piss constantly?
Yeah, so apart from this scenario, you need to use aromatase inhibitors to be dry, to be low in estrogens, and also high in androgens, like halotestin, for instance, or let's say trembolone or proviron and suspension testosterone that will make you harder and eliminate the body fat. But speaking about the water elimination, apart from the diuretics, of course you can use some diuretic herbs like uva or dandelion or high doses of vitamin C and B6. But I think you should eat a lot until day 1 of loading, and then you should cut it abruptly, but should still drink. So let's say go from 5 bottles to 1 bottle and then half a bottle. In this way, you eliminate the water. Besides, drinking too much water is diuretic because it blocks the ADH, the diuretic hormone, which is vasopressin. So we eliminate already water during the depletion phase. Besides, cutting off the carbs and eating a lot of protein is diuretic itself. All right, because you don't eat carbs, therefore you don't have water retention, and you flash a lot. Of course, eliminating sodium is very crucial. So perhaps day 1 of carb loading, a little bit of sodium to use the sodium potassium pump and drive the food with pumping, of course, with flexing into the muscle, but then cutting, of course, sodium is very important. That's why we use also spironolactone to eliminate the sodium and retain some potassium, but not too much because this will give you heart issues. The other scenario is eating potassium from bananas, potatoes without the aldactone. So eating potassium from loading by bananas and potatoes will eliminate the sodium in a natural way through the sodium potassium pump. And that's all. You don't need to necessarily use diuretics. You can also do artificial tanning that will make you dehydrate, or some sauna or steam bath.
Yeah, I used to do water loading. I would drink 2 gallons a day the last couple days up until midnight before the contest, and then after that
late. So you're drinking water all the way with carb loading, all the way.
Yeah, so till midnight, because I knew I wasn't going to be on stage till about noon, so 12 hours. So for 12 hours, I would just be pissing my brains out.
Certainly for 12 hours, you would drink sips, but I was afraid of drinking water 24 hours before the show. I mean, a lot. I could do the sips to swallow the food. But as you go to the night before the show, you should stop doing it and then just sips or sucking ice cubes from the day of the show.
I honestly think most people put too much emphasis on drying out and losing the water when they weren't lean enough. If you're super lean, the body fat's all gone. You're ready. You don't need to worry. Oh no, I gotta. They say I'm holding.
You make the difference when you are already below 5%. Otherwise, if you have some fat that jiggles, there's no point of losing water because besides you're gonna lose fat and you're gonna cramp.
Happened to me. All right. Next one is, hi, gents. My question is, I'm on HRT, 250 milligrams of test a week with 500 IUs of HCG 3 times per week. So a total of 1,500 IU per week. My blood pressure is around 130, 140. I guess he means the systolic. And heart rate around 80 to 90. How can I lower my blood pressure to 120 and heart rate to 70? Are there any supplements that can lower it? Or should I start using Telmisartan? What's the best blood pressure drug with the least side effects?
Well, actually, it's a small cycle. I suggested to lower your testosterone dose because perhaps you're sensitive to blood pressure and aldosterone. So lower 200 milligrams, that is already give you super physiological doses of total testosterone. Minimize your HCG also up to 1,000. You can use also an aromatase inhibitor, perhaps 0.5 milligram of monazole, and stop taking table salt. Eat more potassium from bananas and potatoes and oranges, and see if and also stop taking stimulants. In this way, you may lower your blood pressure. Otherwise, I mean, Telmisartan is just an ARB. You may use an ACE inhibitor. You may use a calcium blocker, or even diuretics to lower your blood pressure. But first of all, you need to follow those steps and then go to the medication that the cardiologist will suggest. I mean, we all know that Telmisartan perhaps will lower the hematocrit or will modify with cardiac remodeling, but it's just one of the plethora of antihypertensive medications.
Next one is, hey, Doc, hey, Ron, question, please. Can I mix Underground Labs Masteron with Pharmagrade Test Undecanoate, Nebido, in the same syringe to inject it all at once? Or will the UGL carrier oil, solvent, and impurities affect the potency of the Pharmagrade Nebido? The Masteron he has is in ethyl oleate oil, and Nebido is in castor oil. Is it possible they could work together, or will they cancel each other out and have less potency?
It's not a good idea mixing 4 mLs with another one, make it 5 ml. I mean, you're not gonna stick into your butt. It's a lot. It's a lot of oil, and Nebido will already crush your HCG since you introduce 1 gram of testosterone. And frankly, I don't find any particular reason mixing the purest and finest testosterone brand with an underground lab. Actually, I have to tell you today, Ron, there was a guy that was shooting 0.5 gram, and his testosterone in the blood was undetectable, meaning he was just injecting oil.
Ooh, I thought you meant
he was hypogonadic. He was already hypogonadic because of the anabolic steroid abuse, but his testosterone in the lab, in the paper, was 0. 0.80 actually. Castration is 150. He had 80. So they rip him off. And imagine if they rip you off in the cheapest compound, which is testosterone, what the hell happens in the expensive compound? That's why I'm telling the guys, use the Pharmagrade that we have in Greece, and forget about underground stuff. Now, Master is very peculiar, very delicate drug, very cosmetic drug for bodybuilders. Do you believe that it's going to be Master? In best scenario, it's going to be testosterone propionate.
So was this guy in Greece?
Yeah, it was Greece. In my office today, he was a bodybuilder, a hardcore bodybuilder. He was injecting Boldenon and 0.5 gram and 0.5 gram of testosterone, and his testosterone was below 100 because there was a suppression already from the anabolics, but testosterone itself couldn't raise his own. So he was injecting 0 oil, nothing.
Can't you still get testosterone over the counter there?
Yes, of course you can get it with $7. You can get it 250 milligrams.
Well, why was he buying fake underground crap?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I guess that where they get into from the rest of anabolics, they give him also testosterone. But I'm telling them, use testosterone provider from the pharmacy, and the rest is up to you.
Yeah, I mean, geez. I mean, if you can get anything pharma, guys, if you can get your hands on pharma grade stuff, get it. That's the only time you're 100% guaranteed it's real. So yeah, I mean, that's why I'm psyched. You know, that's why I got with Frontline and Andre. I know the Tescipionate I put in me. I know it's 200 milligrams per mil. I know it's real. Don't have to worry about it. It's a good feeling. Because other stuff I put in, I'm like, I don't know if there's anything in this. I don't know. This says it's Masteron. I don't know if this is I don't know what the hell it is. I don't test it out. Now at least I know what I'm on. All right, good one. Next one is, I'm 27, been training naturally for 5 years, and I'd like to know, what blood work should I be getting before I start my first cycle? What should I look out for? Also, at what level of natural testosterone is considered to be too low to make good gains? I've made decent gains over these years, and I stay pretty lean, but it looks like I don't even lift. So his first question was, what blood work should he be getting before he starts his
So
first cycle?
basically, we want to check out how much is your hematocrit, because if it's already high, you should blood donate in first place, and perhaps consider taking aspirin with fish oil. Stop smoking, of course, if you have sleep apnea, treat it. And then we need to check out the three main systems: cardiovascular, renal, and hepatic. So do the cholesterol fragments, do the liver enzymes, and do the kidney panel. So total cholesterol, HDL, LDL, triglycerides, homocysteine, SGOT, SGPT, GGT, and then go for urea, creatinine, uric acid. This is the main thing to be healthy. We don't care about your own testosterone before because it's going to be suppressed. We care about it after. Now, if you care about, if you're asking about your own production, listen. You may have an 800 testosterone. You may be a lazy one that it's only for sex drive. I've seen that before. Or you may have a 700. You bash your ass and you have decent results. So the point is how much you get advantage of your own testosterone. Yeah. Of course, you cannot build with endogenous testosterone, say, of 5 to 800, and you need to introduce exogenous with, let's say, 2,000, which is 200 milligrams or more. But nevertheless, on the other side, even if you have 1,000 of testosterone, even injectable, you don't eat and train properly, you're going to have the results that you expect.
Natural testosterone level, you would want to be in the high normal range to see gains, because if you're in the, I imagine if you're in the low normal, you're not going to see any gains at all.
Even if it's high, we need to see the free that works. So many people who follow keto diet or do fasting, they have 700 or 800 total, and the free one is below 50%, so it's fluff because of the high ATP that is caused because of the low insulin. That's why we want you to. I mean, I had a postcard with Michael Hearn that was a customer, a client of his with a total testosterone of 1,000, but the free was inexistent, you know. So that was a problem. He couldn't work the total, and actually the total doesn't work. It's just you know, the surface. What lies beneath is the free one that works.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's, I never knew that. If your free testosterone is low, it doesn't matter how high your total is because it's not available. You're not, your body can't.
When we use testosterone, the injectable testosterone itself will spike the free testosterone. But this is exogenous, okay? When we're talking about our own one, it could be risky. It could be blocked, okay?
Interesting. Okay. Next one is, what is the best dopamine antagonist with the least side effects? My wife and I want to increase our dopamine to have better sex and more desire. What dosage do you recommend? How long can we stay on and off this dopamine?
Work by evidence. Check out how much is your prolactin. Let's see. I've said before that low prolactin is not a good thing either, like high prolactin. And speaking about women's libido, they need estrogens to be wet, you know, and they also need a little bit of androgens as DHT for testosterone, minimal dose to spike the free testosterone as well. Okay. So in women, we give 0.5% of testosterone cream, a little bit, but without having the side effect, you know.
Okay. Like, what's a popular dopamine agonist drug? I'm just curious.
It's Dostinex, which is cabergoline.
Oh, okay. We're always asking you about cabergoline.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Okay. Next one is. Oh, okay. We already got that one. Good, good, good. I'm 48 years old, 105 kilograms on TRT, 200 milligrams of Sustanon, 500 HCG week, and 25 milligrams Proviron per day. I have a friend that has added 50 milligrams of Trenenanti to his TRT protocol with fantastic results and no side effects. I was thinking about doing the same thing. What's your opinion, Doc? 50 milligrams.
I mean, this is called a cycle. This is not TRT. I'm against using anabolic steroids within testosterone. and perhaps your friend has terrific side effects, but if he continues that, then you're going to have issues with lipids, liver. I've seen that with Trembolone at low dose in the long run with 6 months. But please call it a cycle. It's not a TRT, neither HRT. We don't justify Trembolone within testosterone, even as HRT. You may call Nandrolone for the sake of cracky joints as an HRT regimen for a brief period of time, but come on, Trembolone is not even for human use.
But when he says 50 milligrams, I wonder, is that for the whole week? Because that's a very low dose. That would be just a few milligrams a day. That doesn't seem right. I bet he means like 50 milligrams.
Yeah, if it's enanthate, you can use it once a week. Even 50 milligrams. I mean, I was using 50 milligrams of DECA per week, but still, it may have some consequences in the long run. So listen, I mean, if you say this to Morgenthaler, he wouldn't like saying that you're a bunch of guys that are mixing steroids and you call it TRT. Yeah. And there are men that work in the office and they have low libido and they want to use TRT and they're looking at this and they say, yeah, this is not fair.
Yeah, no, I mean, part of the reason I stopped seeing Morgenthaler, we did have issues about that. He knew that a few times a year I was doing cycles and he didn't like it. He was very, very much against it. Didn't even want to, I think at some point he didn't want to treat me anymore, but I just ended up leaving before he fired me. So.
But you're very lucky to have consulted this guy. There are many people stay on the line and beg for it.
Yeah, I had no idea.
And he's retired already. Like he's a legend.
Did he retire? Yeah, by the time I had stopped seeing him, he had cut his patients way back. He was only doing concierge, like you had to pay a monthly fee to be for him to be your physician. So he was already on the way out, I think.
I had the privilege of speaking a little bit with him through the years on Twitter, and he's a trailblazer.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the last question. If I want to stop TRT and get on HCG monotherapy, what is the best dose of HCG to start with? How much you think I can raise my testosterone with Ovitrel HCG only? And do I have to use tamoxifen for higher dosages? Thank you.
So I don't think you should ever start TRT. The reason you're starting TRT is because you don't produce anymore. Plus, the tiny amount that was not enough for you, it's already suppressed. So there's no chance that you recover. It's like asking, if I take my T4 medication, should I stop it and restart something else? No, you cannot do that. The same goes with testosterone, even if you have a deficiency of cortisone. So there's no reason leaving testosterone. Of course, you may stop it for a brief period of time, perhaps if you have high hematocrit, or you can get phlebotomized or minimize your dose. But we don't leave testosterone under hypogonic state. And believe me, there's no way you're going to recover. Listen, I had a guy that reached me 5 years ago when he was in his 50s. Ex-bodybuilder in his 20s, competitive bodybuilder. He approached me with a 200 total testosterone. Definitely he was into TRT, candidate or TRT. He started, and 5 years later, he had a brilliant idea to start competing in cycling. But they told him, oh, you cannot use testosterone even on TRT, stay at home. So now this smart guy wants to cease off TRT and start muscle production. 6 months later, without testosterone, it's still zero. He looks like an old man, 70 years old now.
Oh, dude.
Okay, forget about it. You cannot restart something that is dead already. You cannot resurrect. All right, besides, why do you do this? The only reason you do this is perhaps when you have high viscosity, do some measurements like phlebotomy, fish oil, pentoxifylline, aspirin, hydrate a lot. Stop it even for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or even for a month. Go below 500 and restart again with another protocol perhaps. But no, you cannot, and it's not a good idea to start because you're bored. No, this is not a reason.
And you've also, we've gone over this before with people asking about HCG monotherapy instead of TRT, and you know,
yourself first to discuss. Even besides, when you use HCG monotherapy, you shut on your own brain. Okay, you keep your pulse, but you shut off your brain. So you can use alongside testosterone the HCG to keep fertility, like myself. I never stopped, apart from a brief period of time that I couldn't find HCG, because I knew someday I wanted to become a father, and now my girlfriend is 2 months pregnant. So you can still do this. HCG is miraculous. And even if you add HMG, it's even better. You know, many bodybuilders, even with zero sperm count, they manage to pick up some cells by biopsy and do it in IVF. But coming off Diuretic, you know, it's like somebody who's, living a safety zone and is asking for trouble.
Well, I mean, it's even if HCG works for a while, it's not going to work forever as far as raising your test, right? At some point, it stops working.
And listen, even if we do the PCT protocols in bodybuilders, we sometimes manage to take them up to 500, let's say. But this is right after. Soon after, it's going to drop again. And besides, we age because testosterone goes down, as we age. Put also the stress, the insomnia, the crap that we eat, okay? And then, testosterone is the foundation of youth. Why to stop it?
I don't know why. I think people get paranoid. They hear all these cancer and, they get all these crazy ideas.
Oh, we said that many times.
I know.
And even Mogetale, who's number one.
Yeah, but people
low testosterone occurs in men. Prostate cancer happens with men, low testosterone. Now, if you're doing cycles, yeah, you may have some cardiovascular risk, but using optimized dose of testosterone, there's only benefit.
True that. All right. Well, that is all our questions for this week. Guys, if you have questions for next week, please leave them in the comments below, or just leave us some comments. We love to hear your feedback. We're very, very fortunate to have Dr. Tuliatos here with us every week. One of the only doctors in this world of 8 billion people, I think it's 8 billion, who has walked the walk and talks the talk, medical doctor and champion bodybuilder. Also subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, and turn on notifications. We get so many great videos on this station we'd love for you to check out. And that's it. Thank you, Dr. T. Appreciate you every week being here for the viewers. And that's it. Check us out next week right here on Ask Dr. Testosterone. Bye-bye.
Ron, we need to film next week.
Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.